If you ask most older Americans where they want to live, most of them are going to want to stay at home. But if there's a two-story house, that can become a little bit of a problem. So you might be thinking about, well, would a stair lift be the answer? Today I'm joined by Marine from 101 Mobility in Houston. They are a Harmar certified dealer. Thanks so much for joining us.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
When you think about a stair lift, I think a lot of people just don't know what to imagine. And so how easy is it to be able to get something like this and be able to put it into your home?
So that's a loaded question because there's a lot of different types,
Right.
but it is usually extremely easy. Something like this is going to go on any straight staircase. So they're stocked. You can get them very quickly. It's going to depend on your dealer's schedule, but they could be installed the same day or the next day if it's an emergency.
And how do they work? Because I think there's a lot of just people have
Absolutely,
misconceptions
yes.
of how it's gonna work.
So you have a chair. You would get into it, put your feet on the footrest, and just go up with the button.
And there's a seat belt then also if you
There
need
is
it.
a seat belt if you need it.
Okay.
Once you get to the top floor, you're going to have to swivel. So you press down,
And just turn.
swivel, so that you're able to go off on the landing safely instead of next to the stairs.
Right.
That way, if you lose your balance, you fall back into the chair instead of into the stairs
Gotcha.
as well.
So then you would get up and go on your way up to the second floor.
Exactly, and then I
Gotcha.
just go up, I push up,
Okay.
and I go.
And one of the things that's interesting too is that the railing at the bottom folded up automatically as you went up.
Yes.
So that just kind of keeps the area more clear.
Exactly.
Okay.
So if you don't have a wall like we do, the rail when it goes down would be a tripping hazard. In this case, you would need something like this, which is called a automatic folding rail that's going to fold up and clear the space so that it is no longer a hazard.
Okay. So then you'll
And you
come
can
back.
see
Oh, and it just automatically comes back down.
How it automatically comes back down.
Okay, awesome. The other thing that I think is interesting is that when I envisioned a stair lift, I imagined having to have, studs in the wall and, but it just is going on the stairs itself.
Yes.
So if you had to remove it, it actually wouldn't be that difficult later on either, right?
Exactly. It leaves small screw holes in the stairs. So if you have carpet, that's barely noticeable. If you have hardwood, nothing a little wood putty and wood stain can't fix.
Okay, gotcha. So that also makes it much faster to install as well, right?
Absolutely. It
So-
only takes about half a day to install a straight
Okay.
stair lift.
Right, so you're not coming in for a whole week and
No,
making a big
no.
mess. Okay, so once you have this in place, well, let's start with who are the right types of people that could use this? Because obviously there's probably, you've got to be able to get into the chair, right? Whether
Yes.
yourself or with some assistance.
Absolutely. So you do need to have some trunk stability.
Okay.
You need to be able to sit down and be able to hold yourself in place in the chair. That being said, we have a lot of people who use walkers or wheelchairs, and they have a wheelchair on the bottom, a wheelchair on the top, and they're able to transfer either with help or without help to be able to still use the stair lift as a solution.
So once you have it installed, do you have to do things to keep it maintained?
About once a year is what we suggest, and that's just gonna clean the rails, clean the strips, and
Just keep it running well.
okay, yes,
Yeah, okay. So the maintenance is very simple, just once a year, like having your air conditioning
exactly,
system checked.
yes.
Okay, got it. Now, what about a warranty if there's ever a problem?
So this one specifically has a 3-year manufacturer warranty on all of the parts and a lifetime on the major components. So that ensures your investment is protected over the years. The major components are going to be, for example, the motor, which would be the most expensive thing to replace. Usually they also come with labor warranties as well,
Okay.
coming from whoever you're purchasing it from.
Okay, so checking on what that is. But the other thing that is a little bit unique about this one is, right, that once you fold it up, it's going to
Yes.
be very narrow to take up not as much space on the stairs so that other people, like if you had other family members that wanted to be able to walk up the stairs, there's still room to be able to do that. So
Exactly.
This would come up too.
So
Okay.
this would come up too. And
Okay,
then
gotcha.
it only takes about 12 inches from the wall.
Okay.
So you're able to use the
Right.
stairs even if this is installed.
How do you talk to your parents potentially if you think, okay, maybe they don't need it yet? Obviously, if they're already in a wheelchair or they've had a fall or a hip break or something like that and they need it. But what if you just think, I think mom and dad could really benefit from this because I get worried about them going up and down their stairs just from a safety perspective as more of a preventive.
It's very important to stress how much easier it's going to make life for them and how much freedom and independence it gives back. Because we do get some pushback from the older clients or,
Right.
or the parents, etc.,
Right.
that take it a little bit as an ego hit that they need a stair lift, but once they start using it, they realize they can, put the laundry on it, or they don't have to dread going up and down. It gives them back that entire mobility and freedom to live fully in the house as opposed to just on one story at a time.
So this is obviously an investment. You're making a little bit of a change to your home. But I guess if you look at the investment of this versus remodeling or things like that.
Absolutely. Well, this is an easy solution, and it can be a temporary solution as well. It's a fast and easy solution to get your parents up the stairs so you don't have to either move them out into a community or an assisted living, or you don't have to remodel the downstairs. So it is one of the most cost-effective solutions to get that to happen.
And there are often, you mentioned that before when we were talking, that there's even rental options. So you can either rent
Yes.
it, or maybe some dealers also offer some financing options.
Yep.
Okay.
So we offer rentals and rent-to-own. So that helps in the financing side of it too. But also, if you're still considering the options, you might appreciate a rental for a couple months before you decide if you want to purchase it.
Kind of try it out.
Exactly. Try it out. See if it works for you. See if it works for your parents. Sometimes if your parents are coming over, but they don't live at your house yet. For Christmas, for example, you can just put it in your house and they can access the guest room no problem on a very temporary basis.
Right, because I don't think people think of it that it could potentially be sort of a short-term
It can be a very short
right.
term, yeah.
And the Harmar also has a model that can hold up to 600 pounds,
Yes,
is that right? Okay.
exactly. That's the highest weight capacity stair lift on the market is the Harmar XL.
Okay, gotcha. So that, again, if that's a consideration. So I think the biggest thing that I'm learning is that this is something that a lot of people might have just a thought that, again, it's going to requires a contractor and a remodeling and all of that. But really, you go through certification from Harmar.
Absolutely.
There's more than 1,000 certified dealers across the country, and they're going to give you specific training to be able to install these.
Exactly. It's important to buy from somebody who has actually been trained, because not only are they going to install it correctly, but they're also going to be able to service it if it does have problems in the future. Just like a car, you don't expect it to run perfectly for 10 years straight.
Right.
So you do want to buy from somebody that is going to provide you that service and has the knowledge to troubleshoot it in the future as well.
Sure.
As on top of being able to install it properly, because we have seen some poorly installed stair lift when we're out for service.
Sure, absolutely, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for this great education.
You're very welcome.
Hopefully we've kind of dispelled some of the maybe myths or misconceptions or concerns that people might have about what it might be like to have a stair lift.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And if you have other topics you'd like us to discuss, just let us know. parentingagingparents.com.